Thank you, Mr. Patrick, for that informative lecture. And now I would be pleased to continue with this session with introducing to you Mr. Khalid Al Rahbi, who is a graduate with a Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering from Glasgow Caledonian University, with over 13 years of work experience in IT as a developer, system analyst, project manager, and senior solution architect in both private and government sectors. He is currently the manager for cloud initiatives at the Information Technology Authority in Oman and is responsible for supervising and implementing nationwide IT infrastructure projects, including government cloud and e.Oman portal. His vision is to serve his country by facilitating community access to user-friendly electronic services. His leadership of the innovative G-Cloud project recently earned him international recognition at GITEX when it earned the Best Virtualization Solution Implementation Award in Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. As an Omani, Mr. Khalid was proud to place Oman IT solutions in the forefront of the world. I would like to welcome Mr. Khalid Al Rahbi upon stage to add glory to this atmosphere and to share a part of his knowledge with us on government open source cloud.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for this pleasant invitation to show what we've got in ITA and what we have for the government cloud. Thanks to my team as well, because they attended today here for support as well. They've always been here and they always will be. My name is Khalid Al Rahbi. I'm a senior solution architect as well as I'm a cloud manager for the cloud initiative. Before we go into the cloud and we talk about the open source and where we go, I would like also to share a story, a small story when we started this project. Last year, when we started the project, one of the major milestones that we have is to build a government cloud. Of course, I'm assuming that everyone knows what the cloud environment is and what's a cloud by now. To build a government cloud that can have one most major point should be built on open source products. There's so many reasons why we have actually picked up a cloud to be built in an open source environment. And definitely today, we do see the benefits out of it. We do actually realize how much this open source product has came up into a very good advantage to the government as well as to the organization that we have. Yes, there was always, as any other project, challenges. We don't say difficulties anymore. But by sustaining, work harding, and making it happen, it's always there, as it's always there, as it's always has to be. In the government cloud, we have certain objectives that we always looking for to make, and one of them is to transfer the open source development team that we have into know how to use these applications, the open source applications. Because when we look at the cloud, when it's under open source product, it's mainly about the knowledge that you can gain. One of the main targets that we can have is to control the open source knowledge, to encapsulate the open source knowledge. That's what we think in order to make the cloud project or any open source product that we have as a successful project. As much as we know about it, as much as we go and drill deep in terms of technical knowledge, management level, administration knowledge, it makes it happen. And that's actually the philosophy that we have been through it so far. There's so many advantages and disadvantages that we have gone through this, but today I'm going to share the experience that's absolutely going to push the level higher and makes at least us as an Omani, as an international audience today, gain the benefits out of it. One of the main benefits that we have in cloud is actually isolate all the scattered environment that we have in government, IT environment that we have in the government across the country, under one umbrella, under one infrastructure that can be managed. It can be managed by one single team who knows what they're doing. Out of these, we can always think about it as there is always one person responsible to look after the environment in terms of when I have to get a support for it. The business owner who's supposed to run their own businesses, right now they're supposed to be focused on what they really should do, and they leave the IT overhead headache into professional IT hands. The cloud projects brought all of these into one encapsulated solutions where it actually takes the overhead into one single central unit built in onto open source product that can address all of these issues in one single click on one single request. There's so many features that we have also come across at these presentations, and I would like to thank Dr. Wolf Gangs because he actually mentioned so many advantages about the cloud. I don't have to go back again, but one of the most important that he have mentioned about the cloud project, he have mentioned this, there is Amazon who actually came across 25% of benefits of reduction of the total cost of the whole organization, 25 because they have used open source products. Imagine using open source product, along with those products, you using also a cloud technology into it. How much do you think you can gain out of it? Definitely a lot. So the financial aspect was always the driver to make it happen. Again, I'm going back to the previous, we call it, initially we started as a dream and now it really happens. The project phase line, it started last year. And the phase one was actually to establish one single goal, and that's a basic cloud, plus migrating the e.Oman.gov.om into the cloud as a proof of concept. When we go through this, definitely it was always a challenge, as we always thought it would be, especially used for us, an environment that's built into completely open source, 100%. No other single vendors has put their foot into it. All of the product that's within the government cloud right now, as we can see, it's an open source. It's built, and we have successfully migrated the e.Oman.gov into it to make sure that, yes, it's happening, it works, it has a complete platform that it can support a complicated project with at least 21 servers, virtual machines clustered across. With this, definitely give us a strong confidence that open source today is no doubt is the way to go. It's the future for Oman, and that's why the management in the first place have actually advised and have insisted into make a platform to the government by building the government cloud into an open source society, open source free softwares. Phase two, we actually right now in the process of going through IAS, and it should be ready by the end of this month or most probably by the beginning of next month. And where actually we're going to find an interesting portal that can be addressed to our tenants, where they can start provisioning, acquiring their services through a private network that we always call it an MPLS, if you guys know about it. Phase three, of course, phase three is 2 months, and soon it's going to be over as well. Phase three is building PaaS. Phase 4, we're going through SaaS, and phase 5 is BPaaS. We're going through this after, there's a slide for PaaS and SaaS, and we're going to discuss it in brief, because today is not the objective to tell you what cloud is all about. Today's objective is to focus on what cloud and how it's participating in terms of open source products. These are the goals that we have achieved so far. We've gone live with the phase 1, as I said, and also right now, soon, we're going with the infrastructure as a service by the end of this month. One of the major challenges, as I said earlier, is basically how to capture the knowledge of the open source. I mean, just like anything else, you might buy a product, but eventually you end up into like, how are you going to use it? What exactly there it's for you? How are you going to operate it? Is it good for me? Is it suitable? Is it exactly what I want? There's so many questions when you buy anything new, just like anything else. Even when you buy shoes, it's just the same story. Is it going to fit me right? Is it my shoes? Of course, this question is for the ladies. With the open source products that we have gone through, we have came to know that there are products available free of cost. You can always use them free of cost. And they can work perfectly fine with your environment as long as you know what to do with them. These projects, all what's really required is growing up the knowledge that you have, consolidating, make your studies, make sure that this is exactly works as it's expected. It's going to deliver what you want. Of course, free of course. There will be a value. The free of course, we're talking about subjective. The real value and real spending what happens is not in the price of the product. Real value happens in terms of how much knowledge you can gain to this team that supports the project. Operation team, development team, and so on. Marketing team, definitely. All of these is actually creating one single unit that's called a successful project. Today, we have successful project, yes. One of those trainings that we have gone through it, we've done some sort of a government cloud virtualization administration to the team, and that's definitely to the operation team that we have. Also, we've done hardware administration, cloud operation, all of these, then there is many more stack. This is one of those important courses that we have gone through, but there are much more happens within the next slide that we're going to see and how we have tackled this knowledge and capture it. Product training, we've gone through Red Hat certified training. Of course, we have some of the Red Hat faces today. And OpenStack administration, as we all know, OpenStack is the leader in terms of the virtualization software, open source, Liferay administration, and so on. So these are some of the products that we have actually gained the knowledge from our teams, various teams. It's either operation team or development teams. They have gone and passed through it. This is nothing but a photo that I would like to share with you that when the training happens and what initial trainings when we started. There's so many foundations to this team was given in order to build and to make it happen the way it is right now. This photos was one of the initials, actually introductions and initials, and the solution architect that's on the photo today. After this presentation, he has another workshop, which is interesting for those who really want to know what happens technically within the cloud. Because this presentation will give you more into business planning and what you really want to, what we really do, and where we are right now in terms of the government cloud. One of the intensive training that we have is something we called it as a boot camp. Boot camp is actually an intensive training for the first initial 4 months to the team, and it has some sort of a target that we actually makes this whoever involved with the training hand to hand with an expert's level to see how does it really being developed or operate in reality. And how to make. We let our team, an Omani team candidate, to make and build and design portlets, applications, designing, thinking how it should go, all of these into one single unit called a boot camp, intensive training, and that goes for like 4 months in order to make this team really has a solid background. It's not an easy task, but it's doable. It's definitely doable because all what you need a courage, you need someone who's hungry for information, you need someone who really loves technology, love what he's doing. That's how it happens, and that's how it happens, and that's how it works. As I said, we have development team and operation team. That's what we have focused initially, and we've moved on. These are the integration of the government cloud with Oman services, as what we see, and also as Dr. Wolf has mentioned, one of the most important points I've actually put my mind on when he was saying government must push open source products and make it happen. Some sort of a society has to do it, some sort of an initiative, some sort of a leadership where it should be. Today I would tell you, here in ITA, we have this vision few years ago, and that's why we came up with the cloud. And as we see in this diagram, we see the government cloud is a central unit where it gathers everything else has to do with electronic services. Government cloud actually has an interface with the ministries where ministries can have their own servers, virtual machines within our umbrellas. Also at the same time, the government cloud dashboard and also authentications integrated with the KPI, with the PKI solution, which also makes the use of the secured environment that's passed through our MPLS level. At the same time, we're providing a set of packages on the cloud down there, which integrated again to the same umbrella of the government cloud that we have. One of the most important that we have in this diagram right now, we see there is a lot of connecting dots to what we've always been dreaming of as an IT in Oman. We see that the government cloud brings all the IT into one consolidated pictures, and it has definitely, it might be was visible to some of us, but some of us maybe couldn't see it at the time. But today, or sooner or later, it's going to be even more obvious and clear to everyone that this is, yes, this is the way to go, and this is how it should be consolidated. So yes, this is one of the most important, I could consider achievement to the government if everything has been moved the way that it should be, the way that expected from the government entities as well. Because we all combining to make this happen. We all here making it happen. Cloud itself is a tool, is a facilitator to make this happen, to shortcut, to make your life easy. But again, there is other things also need to be involved in to make these pictures really the way it should be. Technicals, I don't think the problem is the technical. We always overcome any technical issues. Most of our challenges becomes into terms of understanding the needs and how much do we really want it. As soon as we derive ourselves in terms of like, yes, this is it, this is what we want, this is how we really should focus on our businesses, and let's our IT information or IT overhead goes to the people where they can bring us more flexible and faster services, run it, then this is the way it should go. This is some of the stacks of the services that we have providing government. This is a brief information. Definitely we have virtual machines. If you look at the infrastructure as a service, we're providing virtual machines, we're providing network and all the layers that we need. And this will be ready by soon, within this end of this month or the coming months. In terms of also product as a service, we do have some sort of a plans that we could have include some sort of a ready products like what we have on the pictures that can be deployed very quickly in certain open source platforms. One clarification here, government cloud is as a project, just to avoid any confusion. As a platform, it is open source, but that's not limited that you can install any other vendors' applications with it. So the fact is, yes, as a platform, it is open source, but you can always plug in any other products like Oracle or Microsoft, and that's definitely doable and possible. We're not limiting any tenants to be very restricted to what they want to have in their environment. But one thing also, this slide brought to another idea which is very, very important also to these SMEs, to the small business companies. As we say, the cloud frees us from a lot of vendor locking, because now we have the main nerve applications or system is built in open source. Now SMEs, we don't have an excuse why we cannot build, why we cannot, because if the government nerve systems works under umbrella of an open source like that, definitely SMEs can now become more proactive in order to show what you've got, in order to tell us how we can improve, because now there's no vendor locking. Now it's all about SMEs and how we can improve it. This brings a lot of things within ITA and outside ITA to the national environment and to Oman as well. In this slide, I would like to mention some of the, as what we see the first, this is the portal page, the self-service portal page that we have in the government cloud, which is going to be released very, very soon. On the corner right now, we see the list of the product that combines this portal page. Some of these open source product is LifeRay portal, Jira, Zabbix, OpenStack, CentOS, and so on. And there is many more. This is one of the things that I thought like to share with you. These products, definitely there's a lot of, now we knew, there's a lot of also companies, small SMEs companies working in LifeRay development. They are potential customers. They are potential knowledge flooding. In terms of government cloud, it's push all of this information, all of these initiative to come across and show us what they got. As what we see, the portal is meant to serve the government and the internal secured MPLS level, within the internal secured MPLS network. And as simple as it goes, it's nothing but an open source product all over across, 100%. And one of the important things that this portal has actually, cloud as it all, has won an international recognition last year on October. And this international recognition was actually on the virtualization layer of the government cloud, which is basically also fall under the same umbrella that we're talking today. We wouldn't be successful if we haven't designed our government cloud the way it is today. We've have gone a recognition that actually passed Africa, Asia, and Middle East in terms of the virtualization level of design. This project, and we're definitely very, very confident today to say that it's going to be the connecting puzzles to so many SMEs, so many knowledge flooding within the country that has the same umbrella of the open source directions. With this, I would like to thank everyone else who allow me and give me a chance to speak in behalf of my team, and as well as the ITA. My name is Khalid Al Rahbi. I'm a senior solution architect, ITA. I'll be very, very happy to hear your questions and comment as soon as we are finished. Thank you very much.